Hi friends, welcome back to Arc Tutorials. This is CSS full tutorial series for absolute beginners. We are learning all the CSS concepts, properties in detail from scratch and considering all the advanced use cases. Also, that brings us to today's important property, which is CSS float property. When we want to align multiple elements in the same row, that's where we will use the float property. Flex, CSS Flex came into relatively new in picture, but before that the only option to get multiple elements in a row was using CSS Float. We will learn everything about it, but make sure that you watch this till the end because I will also be covering about the CSS Clear property, without which your layout will break. So make sure that you have the continuity in your learning. That being said, let's get started. This is part 20 of the series. If you have missed out on the first 19 parts, I'll request you to kindly go through them in order to have continuity to your learning. So today we are learning two properties, CSS float property and CSS clear property. CSS float property specifies how an element should float in the web page. When we say float, that means either it can go left or it can go right. We can also mention float none, which means it won't float, just display as normal. We can also use inherit, which is it will follow the parent's inherit value. Whenever we use float, remember that always we need to use CSS clear property, because if you don't use it, the following elements will start inheriting it. Okay, that's why it's extremely important to use clear every time we float the elements. Alright, so that's the theoretical part. Let's jump into code and do the practical. I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call it css float.html. Make sure that you practice along with me and let me know if you have any doubts. I'll be more than happy to help you. Alright, okay, so we have the head and the body section. I'm going to use style, internal style, and in the body what I'm going to do is use simple three boxes, okay, just to show you that how they float. So I'm going to use a parent class and say container. This is the main container and I'm going to have three boxes, call them box 1, right, or let's just call them box for now. Box 1. I have three boxes, box 2 and box 3. Right, now these are three simple boxes. Now I'm going to add a quick style for container, gray color, and for the boxes I'm going to go and say background color should be light blue. Okay, so let's go ahead, check this in the browser. So open in any from your terminal, reveal in Finder, and open in any browser. So you can see by default all the boxes are coming and occupying 100% width. Very important concept this is to understand, because div, right, divs are nothing but block elements, which means they will occupy 100% of the width. So now to get them in the same line, I'm going to add a float property and I'm going to say float left. Now this box is on all the three divs, so all will start going towards the left direction. Now when I refresh, they are all here. Now I can give some padding, margin. So now I get the three boxes in the same row. I haven't used the float yet. Let me show you how it will affect. This is a this is a paragraph will float left side, because now you see here it's also going towards the left side, right? Now the reason being that is because, like I said, it will take the value wherever it is going, the previous element. That's why either you can do like this, you can add a dummy div and can say CLS, which is for clear, and say dot less clear. Now we are floating left side, right? So we can write clear left, or we can say clear both. So now you see the entire thing is gray color because that's what the container is, right? If you don't clear it, it will break the layout. You can see again, if I don't give this, it is breaking my layout. Ideally all this should have the gray border. This should come at the bottom. That's why it's important that every time we float the elements, you will have to use clear. I'm going to show you one more example of the same. Let's copy this container class one more time. Okay, and I'm going to use two links. I'll say left side, and I'm going saying this should be on the right side. Ideally I want this link on the right side. So how do we get it? That's right. So for that we will have to float left, and we have to use float right. And you can also add at the end, or you can add a dummy container again and clear it. Okay, so this div won't make any difference in terms of your layout. It's just for clearing. So to align left and right, let's write that class float left. I'm going to say this will float left, and float right will send that property to right side. Now you can see I have my left side link on the left side, right has gone to the right side. Okay, so whenever you want to align any element in a single row in multiple position, you will use floats. Okay, whenever we use floats, we have to clear it. Okay, now like I said, this was the only way to do it before CSS Flex. Okay, now we do most of the layouts with Flex. I'll cover that also as part of this series, but this is a very important property that you should know and have an understanding about, right? So I hope I have made this float clear, right? Float clear. All right, in the next episode we are going to learn about CSS combinators. Very important um, thing to learn. Fundamentally now most of the things that you will see are CSS combinators in some or the other way, right? I hope you like this video. I hope you are enjoying this series. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Please show me some love, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you. Bye.